Hello YouTube and welcome back to the Stanley Parable. So we've already got quite a few endings. I think this is going to be it. I've been thinking about it a little while. I think I know 2 more endings that we can get to, and then those are the ones I know off the top of my head, but then we're actually going to look up some stuff, because other than the 2 I'm thinking of, I don't really know of how to get the other endings. So, just to let you guys know, I think this will probably be the final playthrough for the Stanley Parable. Which is unfortunate because I'm sad to see it go. But, let's get into it. Let's see about getting these other endings. And as always, the loading screen. It never fails. It's always here. If you need it or not, it's there for you. The end is never.
This is the story of a man.
And we're skipping the introduction. Okay, so the 2 endings that I'm thinking of are going to be, one, I didn't actually turn on the mind control machine. So we're going to try that, and the second one that I could think of is that when we did the ending where he made us play the baby game, I never actually went through the red door. So we'll check and see what happens with the red door. Okay.
But here was the proof, the heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content, walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
No, I'm going to turn it on.
Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you?
Yeah?
After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control?
Yeah?
Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex.
What?
How long until detonation then? Let's say 2 minutes. Ah, now this makes things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going. What all this means, I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated. All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees.
Re-enter passcode.
Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley,
Oh God.
you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble. This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count. Or don't. It's all the same to me. All a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever after.
I don't know if you can beat that. Well, that was unfortunate.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
$435. What in the world?
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Wait a second. Oh. Wait. Input received. What in the world? Okay, so we're gonna come back on the next go around and do that, but we're gonna jump ahead to the red door. Okay, so we're back at the red and the blue door. Should we just take it to start with? I mean, it's gonna be the same no matter what, so we might as well.
Oh, thank God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley? I wanted to stop. We would both be so much happier if we just stopped. And I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you.
Ooh.
want? What are we looking for? Here. Yes. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? If we just stay right here, right in this moment with this place, Stanley, I think I feel happy. I actually feel happy.
Well, this is pretty interesting. Oh, wait a second, the room has changed.
No, wait. Where are you going? Oh no. Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this. Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me. Oh, thank God. No, what are you doing, Stanley? Please, I'm asking you not to take this away from me. I can't go back to what I was before. If you die, we'll both go back. Why are you doing this? Stanley, let's go back to the other room. Can you do that for me? My God. Is this really how much you dislike my game? That you'll throw yourself from this platform over and over to be rid of it? You were literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy. Am I reading the situation correctly? Or maybe you're just getting a kick out of it. I don't know anymore. I just wanted us to get along. But I guess that was too much to ask. It looks like you wanted to make a choice after all. Well, this one is yours. Is it over? It's going to restart, isn't it? I'm going back.
Okay, so that was very interesting, but so like I said, those are the only two endings that I could come up with. So give me a minute. I'm actually going to look up and see what other endings we can pull out of. Okay guys, so looking up some of the endings, it looks like there's one ending for actually jumping out of a window. We got to climb up on desk 434.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Okay, I'm on the desk. But now what? Oh, god damn it. Oh, how the heck did I get up there? Okay guys, this might take a little bit. I'm gonna get to where I can get to the window. Okay guys, so I managed to get over to it. It worked with like some crouching and stuff. So let's see what we can do now.
At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along. He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be? Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in? Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet?
No.
Ah, then in that case we'll continue. But now, here comes the real question. What do you think would have happened if you had told me that you wanted this to stop? Do you think it would have been particularly different? Would I have taken the same idea but rephrased it superficially to fit that answer? Perhaps you never would even have thought of it if I hadn't brought up the issue in the first place. Oh, now think about it. Will it be worth it for you to restart and then come back here just to do the other option? Clearly, this whole gag takes some time. What if the other option is even longer? How long will you spend in total just to have heard all the narration? Oh, and this is rich. Perhaps you've just played the other option, and now you've come to see what happens in this one. So, what do you think? Which choice was the better one? Imagine if you had selected continue on your first playthrough, how tantalizing it would be not knowing what happens when you pick the other option. Indeed, you are one of the lucky ones. Though if the other option is really miserable to listen to, then perhaps you're not. In fact, I'm just going to say that no one who's listening to this is lucky. Well now, I've built up the other option so much that I'm going to stop talking and leave you to your decision whether to come back here, continue with the game, or just sit in this spot forever and ever. Cheers.
Oh god, I actually do have to back out.
Wait, Stanley thought to himself. Am I sure that the orders stopped coming in? How is that possible? They never stopped. Surely I was mistaken.
Alright, let's try saying yes.
At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along. He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be? Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in? Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet?
Yes.
Well, I don't know how to say this politely, but you could literally just hit escape and restart the game any old time you want. Like right now. You could have done it just then. Now would also be an appropriate time to quit. Any of these points and so many, many more, all of them are appropriate. I'm enjoying what seems to be an internal conflict going on where you are literally unable to act on your own desires to restart the game. So, just to push the envelope, I'm going to try and make this as miserable as possible and see how long you can maintain. There once was a man named Stanley, who people considered so manly. But the truth must be told, he was not very old and was quite particularly gangly. What Stanley liked most was buttons. He pushed them like some kind of glutton. He did it all day in a meaningful way, but his brain had long ceased to function. Which is why he is in this parable, and lives an existence quite terrible. And if you are not strong and keep playing along, you too will become quite unbearable. Yes. You too will become quite unbearable.
I wonder if it's just going to be on a loop. Okay, so I think it is just on a loop. But that was pretty cool. He sang it's a song. Okay, let's check and see what else we can do. Okay, so apparently those computers were actually used for an ending. And I don't know if all of these computers need to be done in the order that I'm seeing. But there's one on desk 419.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Oh wait, it's not there anymore. Oh. Okay, so I'm going to jump ahead because it says I need to go to the boss's secretary's computer. Okay, so we're up here at the secretary's computer. And it doesn't show that there's an input. So the fact that I was able to hit 419 and then it restarted and then I could hit 423. I think I'm going to have to restart again, so let's try it.
Stanley knew the office layout like the back of his hand. It was only a matter of time before he found the others, wherever they were. Just a matter of time.
Oh, I wonder if he's referencing the computers. Or maybe the other employees. So we're going to cut ahead to the secretary's desk. Okay, so we're here at the secretary's desk. Hopefully the input is there. Which it is. Okay, so I'm actually going to have to restart it 2 more times. The next one it says is on desk 434. So we definitely have to restart for that one. Because that's towards the beginning.
Someone was following Stanley. He was sure of it. If he checked over his shoulder now, he would surely catch them. It was only a matter of time.
Let me click it. Okay, and it said the last one is on my desk. But the door is closed. So restart one more time. Let's see what happens. Alright, here we go. Oh, they do. They turn back on. Is that it? Oh, so I have... So the only way to get out of this room is to start it again. Okay. Well, there we go. That's the heaven ending. Now, let's check and see what else we can do. Whoa. Wait a second. My office is in a different place. And I can just hit the input again. But why did my office move? What in the world? Okay, so let's see if there's anything that I can do from this point. Okay, so apparently there is. Give me 1 second. So we're going to restart the game and see if we can do this other ending. Okay guys, so apparently there's an ending for going into the console. But how do you get into the console? Okay, give me a second guys, I'm going to try and figure this out. Okay guys, so I actually had to go into the properties of the game and actually input -console. It was kind of weird, but apparently there is an ending for just... Oh, what is it that I need to type in? It's, oh here we go. The standard. Well, let's check and see.
Stanley, this is me being serious. In fact, this is my serious room. It's where I come to be serious. That table is the most serious table I could find. I looked at many, many tables, hundreds of tables. It's possible I looked at over 1,000 tables. I honestly don't know. The specific number isn't as important as the understanding that of all tables I looked at, this one is the most serious. I relate this story to impress upon you the extent to which this is the most serious room I have, which is why I brought you here. You just tried to activate server cheats, which of course runs the risk of breaking the entire game. You've got no respect for the strict order of scripted narrative events, and I just can't have that. It's time to get serious, Stanley. No jokes, no games. Outside of this room, I might be more tolerant of those things, but now we're in the room. Which is why I'm subjecting you to the most serious punishment I can think of. 100 billion trillion years standing here in the serious room. Perhaps after that, we can talk about the severity of your actions and whether you've learned anything. But until then, serious room, go.
Okay. What if we do it again?
Whoa. Did we not have the talk? Are we not in the serious room this very moment? Did I not tell you how many tables I looked through? I'm going to be conservative and say it was somewhere in the tens of thousands of tables. Any reasonable person would say I spent an absurd amount of time doing nothing but looking at tables, and I genuinely considered each one too. I took a hell of a lot of notes. I kept the notes in a different room. That room is less serious than this one. It's more of a notes room. Again, the point of this story is to convey how serious I feel this cheating issue is. And I'm sure you'll agree with me once you've fulfilled your new punishment. Infinity years in the serious room. I generally have trouble reading human emotions, but I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that you're devastated by this crippling new punishment. As well you should be. It's the most serious I could think of. Can you get more serious than that? No, you can't. Don't try.
One more time.
Still no effect. The problem is clearly the serious room. It isn't serious enough. That's on me, Stanley. I apologize. I'm going to the store to look through more tables. Hopefully I find one that conveys how wrong what you're doing is. Now, where did I put those notes?
Is that it? Okay, I guess that's it. And we are down to our last two endings. And they are the ones that I should have caught on doing.
All of his co-workers.
Okay, guys, so... well, you'll see in a second.
But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Alright. And there's one more in that area.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it...
Okay, so instead of actually jumping off the platform this time, I have to get on and back up. Kind of like the same thing that I did with the door to the boss's office.
Oh, well, look who's got cold feet. Sorry to break it to you, Stanley, but that lift isn't coming back. You'd best either get comfortable right here on this platform, or test your luck by jumping to the floor below. You know what? Looking at it now, it's not that far to the bottom floor. I bet you can make it. Come on. I'm sure you'll survive the jump. Don't tell me you're scared. That's not the Stanley I know. Do it! Do it! Do it! Do it! Do it! Do it! Do it!
Ah!
Whoops. Looks like I was wrong. How clumsy of me.
Okay, now there's one more ending. It's kind of like the broom closet ending. Well, it wasn't really an ending, but the fact that after you go into it 3 times, he boards it up. At a certain point, something changes in the office and you're able to open one of the doors to get a whiteboard ending. So, and I wonder if all the papers being on the ground is what'll let me do that.
Stanley knew the office layout like the back of his hand. It was only a matter of time before he found the others, wherever they were. Just a matter of time.
Okay, no it doesn't. So we're gonna try restarting the game a couple of times and seeing if we can get it. If not, then I hate to say it, guys, but that's it. That's it for the Stanley Parable. Alright guys, that's it for the Stanley Parable. Unfortunately, we couldn't get the whiteboard ending Easter egg is what it says it's more like. You gotta wait for like the office to turn bluish and then it should open, but it's completely random, which is why it's more like an Easter egg. There is also one other ending. Back through my first playthrough when I said that I better not have to spend 4 hours playing the baby game. Well, sure enough, yeah, you have to spend more than 4 hours playing those games to get an ending, and I do not have the willpower to do that. So, unfortunately, guys, we missed out on 2 of the endings, but it was a hell of a run. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. This is by far in the category of one of my favorite games I have ever played, and I will definitely come back to it, you know, later on when it's magnificence. Magnificence? Yeah, we'll use that word. Has washed over, and you know, it kind of forget what went on with it. That way, I can enjoy it like I'm playing it again for the first time. But yeah, I would say if you guys get a chance, definitely pick it up on Steam. It's well worth it. You know how to get to the endings, so you can play it for yourself, experience it. So, hey, as always, I will see, like and subscribe. You know, I'm starting to get ahead of myself. I'm just, you know, I'm kind of upset. I wish it could have been longer. But, hey, as always, guys, hit that like and subscribe button. Stay tuned for some more playthroughs. We're going to be picking up some other games as well and playing them through all the way to the end. So, I'm going to say it again, guys. Hit that like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.